Hello, and welcome to the June 18th edition of Success by Association Live. Today's issue is sponsored by Winston-Salem Marriott and Benton Convention Center. We thank them for their continued support of AENC. Today's article is written by Dr. Mary Hemphill with The Limitless Leader and is reprinted with permission. The article is titled, The Loneliest Seat in the Room, Reimagining Support at the Top. There's a moment most association leaders recognize. It often arrives quietly, perhaps between the energy of a successful board meeting and the forced effort needed for an emerging staff initiative. You're at your desk, the inbox hums with activity, and you feel the weight of impactful decisions and the high expectations from your members, your team, and your board. It's not a struggle, not a setback. It's simply the subtle understanding that while dedicated people surround you, the unique space for your reflection and support often goes unfilled. That moment, that's the cost of leading alone in the association world. As a leadership coach, I've worked with hundreds of executives across sectors, and the pattern is remarkably consistent, especially for those at the helm of associations. The higher up you go, the less honest, unbiased reflection you receive. Decisions accelerate, expectations amplify, but genuine, intentional support often vanishes, or worse, only appears after a crisis hits. Leadership, despite all the committees, conferences, and complex initiatives, can be profoundly isolating. You know what you're doing, but at what cost? You didn't land in this executive role by accident. You deeply understand your association's mission. You expertly navigate nuanced board dynamics. You've honed in on the art of pivoting through disruption, keeping your membership engaged, and stretching a budget across 2 fiscal years. You've undoubtedly earned the respect of your peers, your staff, and the community of members you tirelessly serve. But respect doesn't always equal reinforcement. Many association leaders navigate their demanding roles with little more than a packed calendar and a handful of professional contacts who are just as overextended as they are. And the longer this goes on, the more likely it becomes that fatigue starts to show up in insidious ways. I'm not talking about incompetence. I'm talking about the subtle erosion that happens when you're expected to lead with unwavering clarity, bold vision, and precise strategy. Still, you do it without the foundational infrastructure to stay grounded and resilient. Questions that don't show up on the agenda. Your association's agenda is full of critical questions. How do we increase membership value? How do we re-engage lapsed stakeholders? How do we prepare our industry for an unpredictable future? But the questions that truly determine whether you're leading sustainably are usually quieter, more personal, and rarely voiced in a crowded meeting. Who are the people I implicitly trust to challenge my thinking without undermining my confidence? What support systems have I outgrown in this elevated role? Where do I feel most misaligned, and who is helping me name that clearly and constructively? When was the last time I made a strategic decision from a place of clarity and calm instead of relentless urgency? The answers to these pivotal questions won't appear in a benchmarking report. They don't come with a CAE credit, but they are the foundation for leading your association with unwavering steadiness and profound self-awareness. Support isn't scarce, it's misaligned for association executives. Association leaders rarely lack contact lists. What they often lack is resonance, the kind of profound support that deeply understands both the immense complexity of association work and the inherent weight of executive responsibility. It's simply not enough to be surrounded by voices. The crucial question is whether those voices genuinely sharpen your thinking, bravely challenge your blind spots, and offer clarity without a hidden agenda. Leadership isn't lonely because leaders are isolated. It becomes lonely when those in proximity cannot truly meet the depth of the moment or the unique demands of your role. This isn't about collecting more mentors for your resume. It's about proactively building a robust structure of reflection and challenge that meets you exactly at your current executive level and seamlessly grows with you as your association evolves. You don't have to wait for a crisis to rethink your support. The most pivotal leadership shifts rarely happen in public, high-stakes moments. They happen when leaders like you give themselves explicit permission to pause, to deeply assess and to boldly reframe what sustainable leadership truly looks like, not just from the outside performance, but profoundly from the inside experience. And if you're sitting in a session where your executive role is clearly expanding, but your personal and professional support isn't keeping pace, let that be an undeniable signal. You don't need more authority, you need more alignment. You don't need more ideas, you need more focused reflection. You don't need to lead louder, you need to lead smarter and more sustainably. That transformative shift starts by reimagining your seat as an association leader, not as an unapproachable pedestal, but as a dynamic place that profoundly deserves fresh perspective, strategic partnership, and vital moments of pause. Hear Dr. Mary Hemphill speak more at the 2025 AENC annual meeting on Monday, July 21st at Raleigh Convention Center. That concludes this article. We hope you have a great rest of your day.